Vous êtes sur la chaîne panafricaine, bienvenue dans votre nouveau numéro de décryptage. Nous accueillons aujourd'hui le président de la Banque africaine d'import-export AfreximBank, le docteur Benedict Oramah. Il va nous parler de l'intégration régionale en Afrique et la contribution de cette banque dans la mise en œuvre de l'accord sur la zone de libre-échange continentale, la ZLECAF. Tout d'abord, parlez-nous du rôle d'AfreximBank dans la mise en œuvre de l'accord de la zone de libre-échange continentale.
The AfCFTA is the ultimate instrument for achieving Africa's economic independence. Our leaders, the African leaders, had so much foresight that they created the African Export-Import Bank, preparatory to what is happening today. They created the African Export-Import Bank to help promote intra-African trade, to help promote value-added activities in the continent, to help promote regional integration. Many people do not know that the mandate of African Export-Import Bank does not stop in financing trade, regional trade, but also in supporting other activities that promote regional integration. For example, the charter of the bank specifically requires the bank to support payment arrangements within the continent. These were done 26, 27 years ago, but today the time has come to implement all of those. That is why African Export-Import Bank has been playing a very active role in what is going on regarding the AfCFTA.
Selon vous, quel serait le rôle du secteur privé dans la concrétisation de l'accord sur la zone de libre-échange continentale?
In fact, the AfCFTA is for the private sector. The governments just did the political act of signing the agreement and giving the regional integration the political backbone it needs, the necessary condition it needs to succeed. But those that will then complete the condition, the sufficient condition for Africans to benefit from regional integration, the intra-African trade, that the AfCFTA will engender, those who will achieve that will be the private sector. So it's a private sector platform. We must never forget that. And that is why AfreximBank is working with the African Union and the Afro Champions and the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, with the different business councils and chambers of commerce across Africa to develop the African Business Council. We have in place the Pan-African Trade and Investment Policy Committee called PAF-TRAC, which we expect to be a precursor to the African Business Council. The trade fair, as mentioned, is to serve the private sector. The financing I mentioned serve the private sector. The payment arrangement is the private sector. So just to repeat, the role of the public sector is to create the enabling environment, which I must say our leaders have done and continue to do. We need it, but the private sector has to up the game to make sure they take advantage of the opportunity our leaders have created.
Vous avez récemment participé au sommet Russie-Afrique. Quel bilan en faites-vous?
You know, in today's world, no continent, no people can be an island. We need partnerships. Even more today, where multilateralism appears to be in some kind of a flux, where there's ongoing doubt in some quarters about the value of multilateralism. Africa needs to build partnerships. As a whole unit, as we are beginning to build under the AfCFTA, we need to reach out to others. You can look at America. What is happening under the Trump administration is that they are favoring a negotiation of free trade agreements with individual countries and so on. So it is important too for Africa to look ahead and say we must also look for partners that will help us develop that will help us enlarge our market. And those partnerships will include everybody, as long as we share the same views about how trade should be conducted. That's why we supported the Russia-Africa Summit. So the Russia-Africa Summit, just like the FOCAC for China, and what we have just recently, the UK-Africa Summit. I think these are initiatives by different countries and Africa to find common grounds, to find win-win ways of promoting trade and investment between their territories.
Vous avez également participé à la 8e édition de l'Africa Business Forum organisée par l'UNECA. Quelles ont été vos impressions par rapport aux discussions?
But so far, it's been extremely interesting. Great speakers, great topics, issue of climate change, environment. Those are really very, very important. But we know that the future belongs to what we do to our environment today. We have to hand over to the next generations something better than what we have today, because we have destroyed what our forefathers gave us. But the environment can also be a source of economic growth if we are smart about it. So some of the things that were discussed today it's a learning experience for me. Good experts, leaders who are there, who also expressed the challenges they are facing. And for us too, we are excited because the UNECA has also provided a platform to discuss the pharmaceutical industry. AfreximBank is doing a lot on health and medical tourism. We believe that we need to tackle healthcare if we hope to improve the quality of life of our people. We believe our people are our greatest assets. So we are really appreciative of the fact that UNECA involved us in this forum.